So what we're going to want to do now is we're going to want to go in and turn this into an animated timeline now. So this gets a little tricky. So you want to, again, you want to make sure it's the 1 is at the bottom, the 12 is at the top. Just select the 1, go up here to the window, and select the spot here that says timeline. So if you click on window and then timeline, that'll bring up this dialog box here that down at the bottom, that this is where you can do video and animated sort of frame by frame animation. And yours might say something like video timeline. If it does, click it to where it says create frame animation and just click that button. You'll see it just brought layer 1 in here and it just dropped it into the timeline. So what we're going to want to do once that happens is we go over here and we click on this little thing. I call it a hamburger, but it's like these 4 lines stacked on top of each other. You click there and you just go make frames from layers. So that's going to take all the layers that we have over here and it's going to drop them in. So now if I push the space bar, it's going to show my animation kind of moving around. And you can see that I still have all of this background stuff in there that's the different frame layers, right? So, but you don't got to stress out about that because I'm going to show you a trick now. Because what we'll do is we will, because this is the stuff behind is what we deleted, we're going to go in here, we're going to create a new layer, and the new layer won't get put into the timeline animation. It's just going to live over here. And so an important thing to know is if you click on like frame 2 and you go over here and you adjust something, so let's say I turn on this one, when I go to play this now, it's going to play, it's going to have, you can see that, you know, it goes from here to here, and then this is the same thing almost as that. So whatever you do within that frame over here in the layers palette shows up in that particular frame. So in this case, we want to keep this really simple and just have, you know, frame 1, have the eyeball on for layer 1. Frame 2, we want layer 2. But it's just a good thing to know if you ever get confused or you get mixed up, that could be what's going on. But what we can do is we can just click over here. I always say this looks like a post-it note down here at the bottom and just create a new layer. And that's going to be called layer 1. And we just want to change the layer order so that that one is behind everything else. So layer 1 is going to be behind all the other stuff that's on here. You can just leave the eyeball on it, right? You click there and you just go up here to File and you go to, Edit, and you go to Fill. And we're going to fill our background with just white. So if we click on that and click OK, now you'll see that the animation is going to move around, and that white layer 1 is just going to sit there and it's going to be behind everything in every single frame, because if I go to frame 12, I've got eyeball number 12 turned on and the eyeball for layer 1. Hopefully that makes sense. If I turn this off, then all of a sudden that's going to go away, and as I scroll through this, that last one will kind of flash, and that'll be weird. So make sure you have frame 12 selected, click that one. The cool thing you can do though, if you want, is you can actually change the layer, this background layer color. So if you wanted to, you could go up here to go and just make sure you have that one selected. So layer 1 is selected, highlighted. Go up here to Edit, Fill, and you could put in a different color. So I'll just do 50% gray just for fun. Click that. So now all of that stuff just moves around on a gray background. All kinds of choices that you can make there if you want to. So that's, you know, now you can see we have our animation sort of moving along, and there's all the controls down here. You can push play, you can go one frame to the next, or you can just click on there. But you'll see that these are set for a specific duration, right? So they're all set for 0.1 seconds. So what I'm going to do is click on 1 and then shift click all the way across on all 12. And where it says 0 seconds, I'm just going to pick that and I'm going to go 0.1 seconds. That it just gives me a little longer duration. And now when I play it, the image just sits there a little longer before it adjusts. If I want to, I can, you know, shift click and make them all longer or shorter. You can play around with that. But once you get all that done, now if I just push the play button down here, you totally see, okay, that's my looping animation. It'll just loop like this, and I have it set to loop forever, but there are ways you can change that if you want to, but I think for ours we wanted to say forever. So we're just going to go ahead and do that, and I will pause now, and then I'll move into some more advanced stuff for anybody who wants to play around with that. Okay, so now we're going to work on just the final stage here, where we're going to work on just doing a couple little fancy things if you want to. Don't have to do any of this, but if you wanted to, you could go in and change like the color of your black line to something else. So, we've got layer 1 selected here, and we have a white background that runs through all of these, so that's great. The white background shows up through the whole thing. And, you could certainly go with another color of background if you want to, but I think for what I'm going to show you now, white background works best. So the thing to know about Photoshop, and we'll talk about some more later on in the course, but is that there are a whole bunch of powerful things you can do here that are called adjustment layers. So if I click on this one, I always say it looks like a yin and yang symbol down here or whatever, but it's just this little button here. This will basically put in an adjustment layer above everything else. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to select the one that says color balance. I'll just pick that one. So you could choose any other one. And what that's going to do now, you can see how it's color balance is selected. It's above all the rest of these. And if I crank this thing up and mess with it, I can actually change the color of that black line to sort of red if I wanted to, right? So I could, play around with it. It could be purple, so whatever, right? So now it's going to apply that to everything that's underneath it. And so if I push the button now, that line is turned from black to red, which it's kind of a cool thing. So you can play around with that if you want. Adjustment layers are nice because you can try one and then just turn the eyeball on or off, and it'll either be affecting it or it won't. So there's things you can do there. Obviously, you could think of some other fun stuff that you could try. Another trick that I'm going to show you really fast is just there is a trick that's called tweening. So if you click here, so if your animation is moving too fast and you wish it had some more stages to it, there's this thing called tweening. And so you select the first layer, you click on it, and it's going to ask you how many frames you want it to add. So if you say just 1 frame, and then leave all of these buttons like selected, you click OK. Now it's going to add a kind of an in-between layer between this and this. And so now I've got kind of an in-between. So then I would go to layer 3, I would click the tween button, click on that, and then it will give me a new layer. If I go here, do it again, so I can go through the entire image now, and it's going to kind of double my frames, if that makes sense at all. You just want to make sure you're paying attention to which ones you're selecting so you're not accidentally tweening an already tweened layer. But I'll just walk through that here really fast, and then we can take a look at how it looks. And sometimes this can be a cool thing to kind of add to your image, just to sort of like, if it goes too quick, like I kind of wish I had drawn this a little differently with some different stages or something like that. So you all can adjust that. You could also go back and add frames if you wanted to. But again, for this first project, we're just trying to learn how this thing works generally. So now that I've done this, if I push the space bar or I push this button here, it'll play it all through, and you can see how now I just have a little bit more something going on that kind of goes in between. And you could add more than 1 frame in between if you wanted to, but this looks pretty good. I kind of like the way that is. So if I'm satisfied with it now, the easiest part of all of this is to just go in and export it. So if I go over here and I come up here at the top and I go File, I can choose, save, and of course I'm going to be wanting to save my file as I go so that I don't lose it if my computer crashes or something. But there's a save button here, but there's also a different spot where you can go in here to export, and you can go to save for web. So or you can go to export as. So I'm just gonna go save for web just because that's what I know how to do. But if you look it up, there's a lot of different ways that we can go about doing this, and you're going to see a whole bunch of options here. Like a JPEG is going to just save 1 frame, but we want to make sure we save the animated GIF. So we're going to do that. We're going to click save here. It's going to ask us where to put it. So I'll put it here, and I'll just title something I can find. Put it on my desktop, click save. Once I do that, now it'll take it a minute, but it'll export it out of there. And then if I go to my desktop, I should be able to find the file. So here it is, right? And so the thing about an animated GIF is that they're designed to play like in a web browser. So if you just click on that and drag it or place it into a web browser, it'll do this, and it'll show you what your animated GIF looks like, just kind of like if it was placed in a browser. So again, that depends on the browser a little bit and stuff like that, but this is a great way to check it and just say, okay, this is what people would see. So Once you've got that done, you have an animated GIF. You just need to place this on your portfolio page and submit the URL to Canvas, and then you'll be done with the project. So hopefully this gives you a little introduction to Photoshop, as well as line drawing, as well as doing something that involves animation. So that stuff we'll be working with for the rest of the quarter.